T's 1961 in Mississippi, and a woman named Judy is gearing up for an interview. She heads to a doll factory for the meeting. The owner, Van Wert, starts chatting with her. He mentions that dolls are God's finest creation, since they don't sin. They're as flawless as humans aim to be. After looking over her resume, he finds it more than impressive and believes she's perfect for the assistant position. Judy responds that if she gets the job, she'll do whatever it takes to excel. However, he turns her down and begins to walk away. Out of nowhere, a man sneaks up from behind and knocks her out. When Judy wakes up, she discovers she's in a dollhouse. Van Wert informs her that this is his estate and gives her a rundown of the place. Confused, Judy asks why she's there. He explains that this will be her home for the next week. He claims she was too good for the assistant role, so now she'll participate in a pageant instead. Judy protests, saying she doesn't want to be involved, but Van Wert insists it's not up to her and that she's stuck there. She attempts to escape, but a guard stands at the door armed. She pleads with him to let her pass, but he remains silent. Van Wert arrives and tells her the guard can't speak. Judy insists she won't stay and tries to call for help, but there's no one around. She questions what Van Wert plans to do with her, but he cryptically says she'll find out soon and walks away. They exit and lock the door behind them. Judy frantically searches the house for an escape route, but even the windows are barred. Out of nowhere, a doll starts moving from behind. Turns out none of them are actually dolls. They're real people. One of them complains that it's not fair because she got a direct pass to the pageant without having to go through the first 2 rounds. She's puzzled when the other girls mention that Van Wert is a psychopath. He kidnaps women to create the perfect doll to be a mother for his only son, and anyone who gets eliminated ends up dead. She's stunned and insists that the police need to take action, but one of the girls replies that there's no evidence of that happening. The girls were taken from their jobs and homes too. They've been stuck there for weeks, trying their hardest, but failing miserably. The only escape seems to be death. While looking out the window, she spots a little boy. A girl named Hattie urges her to eat something before they prepare for the next round. Judy tells her about the boy, and she identifies him as Otis. She mentions that it's been said his mother died from accidental drowning, but that's not the whole story. The woman was frustrated with Van Wert and had an affair. When they were caught in the act, he took them both down and electrocuted the guy to death. Then he threw her alive into a well, and she drowned. Out of nowhere, a bell rings. Aurelia tells her to get ready. She leads her to a room and tells her to choose an outfit. She also mentions that she must remain silent until someone speaks to her. Spotting a clown costume, she picks it up. Otis arrives with Van Wert and is annoyed to see more people around. He then inquires about the clown. Judy introduces herself as a clown. Otis isn't impressed, but Van Wert tells him to choose. He says he'll leave Otis with the girls and suggests he should try to make some friends. Once he leaves, Otis expresses his dislike for the clown and vows to tell his dad to get rid of her when he returns. Judy offers to perform magic tricks for him, but he claims to hate magicians too. Suddenly, Judy makes a toy car move just by staring at it. Otis is taken aback and demands she do it again. She refuses, but Otis insists it's his property and she must comply with his requests or face dire consequences. Reluctantly, she moves the truck again, leaving the other girls in shock. The girls are gathered in their room when one of them asks Judy how she managed to do that. Judy explains that her uncle was a magician and she picked up a few tricks from him. However, another girl accuses her of lying since she did it without touching anything. She insists she has her own plans and intends to win the competition by charming everyone. She questions what winning the pageant means, if they're just going to be forced to marry Van Wert. The girl responds that once she wins, she'll find a way to escape this situation. Suddenly, the bell rings again, causing all the girls to panic. One of them remarks that a bell at this time indicates a test. Van Wert shows up and announces that today's challenge is all about setting up a lunch. He brings out a variety of plates and cutlery. Everyone has the same amount of time to set the table using everything provided. Those who do it well will earn points, while those who mess up will be eliminated. And just like that, the challenge kicks off. Everyone gets to work, but Judy is a bit lost. However, being a fast learner, she watches others and manages to do a decent job. Just as the time is about to run out, she accidentally knocks over a glass. When time's up, Van Wert starts reviewing everyone's work. It seems like everyone made at least one mistake. But when it comes to Faye, she really struggled to get anything right. Van Wert completely loses it and orders his henchmen to eliminate her. Faye pleads and cries, but he zaps her with electricity and drags her away. The other girls watch from the window as they take Faye and dispose of her. Aurelia comments that there's no turning back now and vows to do whatever it takes to survive. Meanwhile, Otis is hanging out with Judy when she shares that she's had magical abilities since she was born. She kept it a secret because being different could lead to her being shunned. She then suggests that Otis must understand what it's like to be an outcast, since he is one too. He insists he isn't, but she points out that he plays with dolls and doesn't go to school. Otis explains that he used to go to school, but he quit because the other kids bullied him. He confesses that he secretly hopes Judy wins and becomes his mother. Judy responds that she wouldn't be happy if that meant the other girls had to die. She promises to be the best mother for him if he can persuade his dad to let all the other girls go. Otis visits his dad at night, looking a bit anxious. He checks in with Van Wert, asking if everything's okay. Van Wert reassures him that he's fine and promises to handle any issues that come up. He also vows to find the perfect mother figure for Otis and encourages him to trust him. Feeling reassured, Otis leaves the room. The following morning, Van Wert heads to the dollhouse and announces that the day's task involves household chores. He gives an extensive talk on how to properly iron clothes. Then he instructs them to create a fragrance mixture and use it while ironing and neatly folding clothes within 3 minutes. The timer starts and everyone gets to work while Van Wert supervises closely. When time's up, he begins to evaluate their efforts one by one. Unfortunately, Judy accidentally scorches a shirt. Van Wert orders her to place her hands on the table and then burns her hands with the iron. Meanwhile, Bonnie performs poorly and is eliminated with the guard killing her. Van Wert warns that tomorrow will be the final day and 2 girls will be sent home. After he leaves, Aurelia comments that Judy's sweet talk with Otis didn't help at all. Hattie tells Judy they need to escape since they're all doomed anyway. Even though Hattie is angry with Otis, Judy still has a soft spot for him. Hattie points out that Van Wert is aware of Otis's closeness to Judy, giving her a better chance of winning. Aurelia overhears this and rushes downstairs to find something. She discovers a sharp object. Meanwhile, Judy suddenly has an idea and dashes to the dressing room. Aurelia emerges with the sharp object and attacks Judy, but turns out to be just a doll. Aurelia insists she won't end up dead, but Judy reassures her that none of them has to die because she knows a way out. Aurelia argues that the estate is 10 miles away from the road, making escape impossible. However, Judy insists she will use dolls to buy them some extra time to make their getaway. Otis wakes up and hears the bell ring. Van Wert heads over to the dollhouse and notices that all 3 ladies are in the drawing room, but they're just dolls, while the girls are actually hiding outside. Judy uses her magic to unlock the door, and they start to sneak out. However, she pauses and insists they can't leave without Otis. Aurelia gets angry, and Hattie suggests they can call the police once they're gone. But Judy warns that if he discovers their secret, he could disappear. Scared, the girls decide to leave. Judy then goes back to the house to get Otis. Meanwhile, Van Wert asks a question from a Bible, but none of the girls respond. It soon dawns on him that they are all just dolls. Judy finds Otis and tells him she's escaping, but will take him with her. She explains that his father is unwell and doing awful things, but Otis apologizes and shocks her with electricity. The girls are sprinting through the woods when Hattie trips. Aurelia tells her she's too slow and picks up a rock to kill her, but the guard arrives. He first shoots Aurelia and then Hattie, killing them both. Judy wakes up tied to a bed. Van Wert reveals he was aware of their plans all along because the dolls in the house had voice recorders, and he overheard their discussions. The final test was to see which girl would return for Otis. Since Judy came back, he believes she would make the ideal mother for him. She asks what he plans to do with her, and he replies that he will make her perfect, and it will be painless. He then compresses a mold structure onto her. After a while, Judy serves tea to the family. Otis expresses a wish that she would talk. Van Wert reassures him that she will get used to it soon. It turns out they have shaped Judy with clay and transformed her into a living doll. As Van Wert is about to enjoy his tea, suddenly the cup soars into the air. 2 women dressed in black cloaks arrive on the scene. Van Wert inquires how they managed to get there. The guard attempts to draw his gun, but becomes paralyzed. The other woman then casts a spell that freezes Van Wert too. Otis hides behind Judy, but the woman reassures her that there's no need to be afraid of them. She then performs a spell, causing the entire mold to shatter away from Judy. The woman explains that they would have rescued her earlier, but her powers were too weak to attempt it. She discloses that they are witches just like Judy. Otis pleads with her not to abandon him. Judy expresses her willingness to be his mother, but warns that he can never return there. They all prepare to leave, but not before they set Van Wert and the house ablaze. Judy takes Otis to the Witches' Academy. She provides him with a new identity, Spaulding, and instructs him never to mention his father again. A young girl named Myrtle arrives and takes him off to play. Judy, now calling herself Fiona, is ready to embark on her new journey at Miss Robichaux's Academy. You were watching a recap of American Horror Stories Season 2 Episode 1, Dollhouse. Hit the like button if you have enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel and get notified about our next video. Till then, you may also like this.